The rain and the wind pounded Carbondale this morning. What's the weather like for this afternoon and tomorrow? Find out coming up in the evening edition.
Plus, child care providers in Illinois are recognized for their service. And an SIU student is breaking city records with his political ambitions.
Bringing the River Region home to you. This is the River Region Evening Edition.
Well, Lindsay, regarding that, we actually did have some pretty severe storms move through the river region this morning.
I know, we did, and I was actually really surprised to see that it was sunny this afternoon. Chris Hagstrom joins us with the first look at the forecast.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. You know, it was a beautiful day out in Carbondale after those storms had passed through. And earlier, of course, as you saw, the rain was pounding the Carbondale area. But of course, that passed through. And the storm system that actually was there moved on and is now moving into moving into Tennessee and into Indiana. Let's go and take a look, though, at the current conditions right now. As you see, this is the storm system that passed through. The cold front that's just draping right in between St. Louis and Carbondale is going to push some cooler temperatures, which we'll talk about coming up in the weather update. But of course, there are still tornado warnings and tornado watches for Alabama and all of the southeast. So be careful if you have any family or traveling down in that area. Winter weather still continues up, though, into the north region. Also, the Midwest is still going to see some snow. In Chicago, well, you're still seeing some rain, but that'll change as it comes down to the rest of the week. As we go ahead and take a look at the conditions for coming up tonight, you're going to see partly cloudy skies, low of 37 degrees. In the morning, will be windy throughout the rest of the day with highs creeping into the 50s. We'll have a look at your full first alert forecast coming up.
Bringing the River Region home to you. Here's your River Region forecast.
We had a very stormy morning today as, of course, thunderstorms rolled through the area. It was a windy afternoon, but will it be a nice weekend? Well, first, let's go ahead and take a look at your current temperatures here in Carbondale. Right now, it's 64 degrees with a dew point of 30, and winds are coming out of the southwest at 17 miles an hour, and the barometer is holding steady at 29.22. As we look at the almanac for today, as you see, our high has been staying right about what it should be at 55 degrees, and our low of 33. We'll get a little bit colder than that, but we'll talk about that as we come up in the weather forecast. Now, today's precipitation is at 0.23 inches, and that, of course, is our monthly precipitation as it is today, March 1st. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the regional temps throughout the area. Carbondale, you are at 64. Marion, you're also sitting at 64. Mount Vernon, you're sitting at 63 degrees, and you see right where that cold front is sitting right between Carbondale, Cape, and Belleville. Belleville, you're sitting at 52 degrees, and Cape Girardeau, you're at 58. As we look over now to Paducah, where they had a lot of those storms, it was 63. Now, as you look at the national satellite, you see all of that storm weather that just passed through the Carbondale and the southern Illinois area is pushed on into the east, and it'll eventually move into the northeast right around tonight and into tomorrow. The northeast can expect to see some showers and thunderstorms. As you look again at the current conditions map, you see this is the storm system that passed through, and there's still some tornado watches and warnings for Alabama and Georgia area. So please, if you have any family on there, keep out watch and make sure you let them know what's going on. I'm sure they know it's been a pretty stormy day down there. Also, some snow up into Minnesota and Wisconsin. So we got weather all over the region. And of course, we have a little bit of a storm system that's up to our west, but that's really not going to affect Carbondale for a while. So let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's forecast. As you see, it'll be partly cloudy skies with a low of 37 degrees. Winds will be coming out of the southwest at 18 miles an hour. Into tomorrow, we'll see partly cloudy skies again, but it will be windy, gusting up to 35 miles an hour with a high of 55 degrees. Into tomorrow night, you can expect more partly cloudy skies with a low of 28 degrees. And now as we go to your 5-day forecast, you see that Saturday will be mostly cloudy, and Sunday will be mostly sunny, and that'll start a trend going into the week as highs will slowly creep up into the upper 50s.
Chris, those winds, they seem so high.
It's going to be very windy tomorrow, so if for some reason you have an umbrella, you're not going to need one, but if you do, watch what else get turned inside out.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, guys.
Good evening, I'm Chris Hagstrom.
And I'm Tanya Sinkovitz. The SIU students who are going to move into the brand new campus housing are still left in the cold.
They've been waiting for 5 months to move into the Wall and Grand apartments.
When the beginning of the semester started, the students moved into Wright Hall and were told they would be able to move in by September 7th. September 7th has passed and the students have not moved into their apartments. To compensate the students, University Housing has lowered their rent, gave them a better meal plan, and let them use the laundry facilities in Wrights 1, 2, and 3 for free. Students are happy they have gotten compensation, but are still angry. Students have been told they will be able to move in before the next semester starts. The Illinois Supreme Court says people affected by the 2003 Tamora train derailment may not file suit together in a class action. The court ruled without dissent that each person was affected so differently that damages are not similar enough to warrant a class action lawsuit. The Canadian National says it paid more than 800 families and businesses more than $700,000 to compensate for their problems. In 2003, a train derailed in Tamora, Illinois and spilled hazardous chemicals and caused the evacuation of more than 780 residents. The Canadian National Illinois train was carrying 22 tankers of vinyl chloride, hydrochloric acid, formaldehyde, phosphoric acid, and methyl alcohol. The residents of the town were initially evacuated in a half-mile radius to the town's community center.
Covering all of the region's sports action, here's your River Region sports team.
We are well into the IHSA playoffs, and the Marion Wildcats look to pounce on their opponent. Marion, who is 10-1, will be traveling to Metamora, Illinois to take on the 11-0 Metamora Redbirds. Also in the 5A lower bracket, we have number 12 Cahokia, who lost to Marion earlier this year, and they'll travel to Springfield, Illinois to take on the Sacred Heart Griffins Cyclones. Both games are on Saturday starting at 1 p.m. The leaves may be changing colors and fall has just arrived, but it's never too early for Saluki baseball. The SIU baseball team has just announced Kevin Koski and Jordan Powell as the captains for the 2007 season as voted on by their teammates. Koski ended the year with a .300 average, 1 home run, and 29 RBIs and received honorable mention in the Missouri Valley Conference. Powell, one of SIU's starting pitchers, ended the year with a 6-6 record and a 4.16 ERA along with 58 strikeouts. Saluki head coach Dan Callahan stated that his team and his coaching staff feel strong and that both of these young men will serve as exemplary roles for their teammates. The baseball Dogs will open their season, the 2007 season, at DeLand, Florida, taking on the Stetson Hatters on February 10th. Tomorrow, the SIU basketball team will open the regular season against the Washington University Bears. The Salukis are ranked 27th in the country by the Associated Press, and Southern will still be without guard Jamal Tatum, who is on a suspension for 3 games from a DUI charge he received earlier this year. Starting in place of JT will be the 6'3", 205-pound Tyrone Green. The rest of the Saluki starters look like this. We have Randall Falker and Matt Shaw at the forward positions, and wrapping up the guard spots will be Tony Young and Brian Mullins. The tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. tomorrow at the SIU Arena. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the rest of these games, but you know what? These Salukis are going to maul the Bears.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Television stations.
Southern Illinois, let's get ready to rumble. The popular program World Wrestling Entertainment is coming to the SIU Arena this Saturday. Chris Hagstrom has the SmackDown.
The SIU Arena. On any given day, you would see the best men's and women's basketball in all of Southern Illinois. However, this Saturday night, the arena is home to a different kind of sport. Sports entertainment, to be exact. World Wrestling Entertainment will have their first show ever at the arena. The superstars from SmackDown and the extremists from Extreme Championship Wrestling will all be in attendance to do what they do best: beat each other senseless to the enjoyment of thousands of screaming fans. SIU Arena publicist Pat Jones says that Southern Illinois is extremely excited for this event.
Seems to me a lot of people are excited about it. As soon as the word got out, we started getting about all sorts of calls when tickets went on sale. And so there's a lot of public interest in this event.
The scheduled main event is a rematch from the Royal Rumble. The World Heavyweight Champion Batista will take on the #1 contender, Mr. Kennedy. People from all over the River region will be flocking to this event in Carbondale on Saturday.
And it's nice for a change just to have a show on campus here. I mean, you don't see this very often, and I believe this is the first time that WWE has come to Carbondale. So yes, I'm very excited about that.
Not only is this the first event ever in Carbondale, but the fans have the opportunity to meet and greet some of their favorite grapplers. And how can they attend this event?
Get those tickets while they're still available. The tickets are going fast. We've got some great seats. You're going to see some fantastic entertainment, athletic competition, if you will, and it's going to be a great time, great for great for fans of all ages.
And that's the bottom line. I'm Chris Hagstrom.
The WWE Super Show kicks off at 7:30 Saturday night from the SIU Arena. And Chris, that's some pretty serious hardware you've got there. What is that?
Well, I actually got this from one of their events that they've had a few years ago, and I'm actually going to be going to this one. I'll be front row, so keep your eyes out for me, and I'll be backstage, so I'll bring plenty of pictures for next week.
Well, great. We'll enjoy the show, Chris.
I certainly will.
Great, thanks.